Good night, everyone. It's a big honor to be here in one of the most important places for culture in the world. It's even a little bit too much for me, because you will see in the movie that my artistic life haven't always been so easy. But I hope that you will like it. Don't leave after, so we can talk about the movie now. We can talk about nothing, because you will see the movie. So watch the movie, and I will be back to answer to your question. And anyway, thanks a lot to be here.
Thank you very much. I don't have much to say also, because we always used to speak after the movie, and after the movie we will be here for a Q&A, and I'm very sorry that Tizza cannot be here. It would be great for her to make this experience, to show this movie here in this fantastic cinema. And thank you very much, Josh, for inviting our movie to screen it here. Thank you very much.
This run. Let me start with the obvious question, which is how this project came about. So take that however you wish. You know, there are many ways in which you could present the background to how you met each other and how this project evolved, but I would love for you to tell the audience a bit.
Maybe I start from our side, how we met Vera. It was we were shooting a movie at the circus, and there we met Vera. She was doing a documentary about her father, Vera Gemma, and because her father was also in love with circus. And honestly to say, we fell into this trap of prejudice, that what kind of woman is she? So at the first moment we had a strange feeling, honestly to say. And then we met her again, and it's so wonderful and interesting and funny to speak with her, and that it was Tizza especially who decided to meet her a lot of times, and she went to Rome making interview or talking with you, and so this idea for this movie came up. So this is our side of. You had other experiences.
Yes, there was Tizza used to come in my place all the time, asking me lots of questions about me, about my life, and we became friends. You know, she was interested to me, and then after 1 year, maybe 1 year and a half of friendship, she told me, you know, I'm writing a movie about you, and I was like. I don't have any money to do this movie. And she was like, Vera, I don't want any money from you. I'm gonna pay you for your work. And I was like, oh, really? I imagine the level of self-esteem that I had in that moment. I immediately thought that they wanted money from me, you know? But they was interested for real to me. So I said, and what do you want to tell about me? And she said everything, all your wrong boyfriend, and the fact that you didn't feel never enough comparing to your father. And I was like, oh really, do you think that this can be interesting for someone? And she said, yes, I think so.
Just before I follow up, I just want to get some clarification. You were filming the documentary about your dad at the circus? How is it that you met at a circus?
Because they was filming their second movie in the same circus, Mr. Universo, where I used to shoot the documentary about my father as director, because my father used to train at the circus. Because he always made this scene in this movie, action movie, without dubbing. So he was an acrobat, and he learned a lot in the circus. So the circus is an important part of his life. And I was there, they was there, we met, and the first idea that they had about me was like, oh my God, who is this girl dressed like a cowboy? Maybe she has some psychological problem, and yes, I have a lot.
Maybe no more than anyone else.
Exactly. But they was interested to understand more about me, you know. So then they get inspired by me, my life, my wrong experience, my wrong boyfriend, that we could make a Netflix series about my boyfriend. But we like cinema. So.
But really, I mean, this is a film, among other things, about trust. It seems to me it's a major theme of this film is how much you can really trust someone else, and wondered what it was about Titsa and Rainer that you trusted, that you knew that you weren't going to be betrayed in some way, or that you weren't going to be made fun of, or that you weren't going to be a caricature. What was it about them? What was the discussions you had? And
at the beginning, I was protecting myself, you know, in a strange way. For example, there is this scene of the taxi driver in which I asked him, "Do you want to come in my place to sleep with me?" And he said, "No, I have a girlfriend." And I was like, "This is impossible. It couldn't happen in real life." And I was like, "Yes, Vera, for sure it couldn't happen, but in this movie it happened." No, it can't happen that a man said no to me, you know. I was like protecting myself from everything. And it was like, "Vera, relax. I mean, we are telling some, maybe a sad part of you, which is the best part of you, which is the most romantic, the most real, the most honest part of you, you know." Then I relax, and I said, "Okay, I don't have to be beautiful, I don't have to be a winner, I can just be myself, naked in my soul, doesn't think that maybe I'm not enough, but I want just to give some real emotion to people and show who I am with all my mistake, with my imperfection." And one time I relaxed, I became a good actress in this movie because I was real, honest, and not afraid that it doesn't be enough.
And it sounds like it took some time for that trust to evolve. I mean, you had a friendship.
Yes, it took some time, but then one time I trust them and I trust myself, most of all. It has been an amazing work. Not always easy, because, for example, something that happened in the movie happened in real life, like this guy that makes me sleep and steal everything in my life. This happened for real, you know, in my house. So I was living again all this bad emotion that I live for real in my real life. So I was very nervous during the shooting of the movie because I was touching something very, very deep inside me. But I'm very grateful to my directors because I think this is a wonderful character, and I'm so happy of this movie.
I mean, one of the pleasures I think of working on a film of this sort is that it's full of surprises, and I wondered if in making it, what surprises you had along the way.
Well, this is, we are coming from documentary filmmaking, and documentary filmmaking is somehow waiting for surprises. And this is, for us, the most interesting part of filmmaking is this surprise, that you are surprised. And so we never write dialogues, so all the dialogues are improvised. So the storyline is here, so it's a script, we have a script, a very clear script, but the dialogues are improvised. Or we go on the street, making scenes on the street, and we are surprised. For example, this man who cannot leave his home because he's under arrest. This is a surprise for us.
This happened for real. This guy recognized me because I was kind of popular in this time in Italy for a TV show, a stupid TV show that I made because no one wants me to make a movie. So I make this stupid survival TV show. And he was like, "Vera, I saw you on TV, come to make a picture with me." I said, "I can't, I'm shooting, wait. When I'm finished, I come." So we finished, I said, "Rainer, we need to come back to this guy. I promised him a picture." So I come back and I said, "Okay, son, okay, come." let's make the picture. And he said, I can't. Why? I'm a domiciliary arrest. You have to go. I was, oh, and Tizza came immediately. She said, oh my God, this is going to be in the movie. Let's do it again. And she was so bad with this guy. No, I don't like you. You have to be more natural. And I was like, Tizza, he's gonna kill us. Keep the calm. And he made the scene like 5 times, very, very professional, and it was so funny. But this comes from reality.
How do you and Tizza work? Talk a little bit about your collaborations. I know that she had a credit, and I was going to ask you in the film for casting, and I wanted to ask you about how this film was cast, but talk in general about your...
Yes, in general, we're working just in 2, so I'm doing the camera, Tizza is doing the sound, and this is very important for our way of working, so we can create a very intimate atmosphere on the set. We don't have hundreds of people around us that have nothing to do.
Very, very intimate, because we made all this movie in 4 people. Me, Tizza, Rainer, and an help director. We were 4 to make this movie. No makeup, no, 4 people to make a movie.
Yes, and this is why, because we are coming from documentary filmmaking, so we are used to be a very small team. And for us, it's also very important. We are shooting on film, so this is on 16 millimeter film. For us, every part of department of filmmaking is creating, like, it's all a piece of art for us. So we really want to have the responsibility for every department of filmmaking. And so Tizza also does the editing, I do the production. So yes, we are really a very, very small team, but this is very important for our way of filmmaking.
I did my own costume.
And what does it mean to cast a film like this?
But for us, we usually don't cast, because we always meet people that are interesting, like Vera, and then after years sometimes comes the idea of making a movie, and coming back to the trust. After years having found some trust, we get the idea to make a movie. So we never have a script and then we are searching for people who could play this role. But for this movie we did the casting for a child. So we had to cast a child, so we did the casting in San Basilio, and it's always a very interesting process, because you learn much about the people there. And for example, we were casting a boy, but then was coming one father with his boy, and the boy was very timid, but we would have liked to have this boy, but then we thought the father is very interesting and good. And the father was Daniel, and so we found Daniel for this movie. So, but the boy, he didn't want to. The boy is another. It's not his real son. Yes.
The other boy was too
Yeah,
shy.
yeah.
So what were you looking for in a boy?
Sorry.
What were you looking for in the boy? What was the criteria you used? What kind of qualities?
Well, yes, it's honestly to say we are not like others who cast hundreds of children and going there and there. We had some, maybe 10 or 15 boys, and we were searching. We think, honestly to say, the directors are often very overestimated, because everyone in a way is a good actor, can be a good actor, and we were looking for a natural boy that can be, yes, natural. And it's always important also, if you search for a child, you have to look at the parents. The parents will give you the possibility to make this movie, because there's some parents who are always on the set and taking care. And
because there is a very beautiful relationship you have with this boy, both on screen.
What is I think that I've been very intelligent to shoot this movie in a chronological way. So the first time the kids see me in the accident is the very first time he saw me. So it was for real, like, oh my God, who is this girl, you know, with this cowboy hat. And then we became friends for real. And shooting the movie, I start to love him and he start to love me. So Tizza didn't have to say that now you have to play like if you love her, because he was loving me for real. So this chronological way to shoot gives lots of reality and honesty to the movie.
It's also lovely, the idea that this boy has been so cloistered in his life that he's never been to the center of Rome, right? You have the scene where he goes to visit the Trevi Fountain and he's never seen it before. And I assume that's not the case, or is it the case?
This is true. When we go to the center, it's the very first time that he went to the center of Rome.
That's amazing.
So he was like, oh my God, I love it.
Yes, and it was also the very first time that he went to the cinema.
So this is
This
amazing.
So these are the surprises that
so
we
you and
have
I,
now.
after seeing this 3 times, had assumed that those were staged scenes, and so he had never been to a cinema.
No, he has never been to a cinema.
And even the scene between me and Asia Argento, which is for real my best friend in life, is improvised. Just Tizza put us in front of this tomb, and she said, "Okay, you talk," and you said what you think, what we could say about someone that didn't even have the right to have his name in the tomb, you know. So we really felt very close to this guy, and we still feel. Sometimes we think to him, we still talk about him, you know. It was really real, improvised with the heart. That doesn't mean that it's a documentary, it's a movie. They exactly knew what they wanted, you know. But some scene came so naturally because they were real.
I mean, you seem particularly drawn to children. I mean, La Pipellina is, of course, involves a child, and it's hard not to think of neorealist films like Bicycle Thieves, but I was also thinking in this case of Oshima's film Boy, in which parents, most of the father, exploit a young child and push him into traffic so that they can earn some money for the family through insurance scams and through shaking down the drivers. I mean, talk a little bit about your sensibility and the kinds of films you watch or that inspire you to make this kind of hybrid cinema.
Yes, as you mentioned, it's obviously the Italian cinema that had a great impact of our way of filmmaking, and obviously it's Bicycle Thieves is one of the most fascinating movies, in my opinion, that exists, and so. But it's also the early movies of Pasolini or the early movies of Fellini. It's the Italian cinema that is for us a great. We can never reach this level of cinema, but they had this period of cinema had a great impact on us.
And for you too, I assume you grew up with a lot of those films.
Well, I grew up more in a spaghetti western movie, you know.
But surely you
Maria,
watched
south of Spain, watching cowboys all the time, and but yes, I grew up in Italian cinema, so I know very well, obviously, all this movie, and this is big part of my life. Cinema belongs completely to my childness, my remembers, my life. But I never had an opportunity to have a character as a leading role, you know. I had to wait just 53 years.
Yes, but wasn't it?
I'm very happy that before dying, I had this opportunity.
But wasn't.
You know, you talk about how your sad side is the thing that's drawn out of this film, but you're also extremely funny.
Yes, I'm very auto-ironic, you know. As any dramatic person, I learn to be funny and to joke about my own dramatic.
There's some very funny scenes in this film.
Yes, I'm very funny. I would love to be a sex symbol, but I'm funny.
Coming back, just to wasn't it Sergio Leone who wanted to give you a role?
Yes, and he died immediately after.
Do you know what the role was?
It was like, now he was one of the directors that seems to understand me from when I was a child, you know. He was watching me all the time, worrying if I was good, if I felt good. And I was like so happy that this man was interested to me and not just to my father, you know. And one day he told me, I'm gonna make a movie for you. And like 1 month after he died, and I cried so much that you can't imagine, not for the movie, but because I was really, I had really a big love for this man that used to understood me in a moment where nobody seems to understand me, you know. So I didn't make the movie, but I think he's an angel that protects me, and he wants me to meet these wonderful directors.
Let's give you a chance to ask some questions. Carson has a mic, so if you don't mind waiting till it comes around.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful shoes.
Oh, thank you. Jimmy Choo, very expensive.
I have a question about luck. I really enjoyed the placement of cats. There was a black cat and then a white cat when we go to Daniel's mechanics. I'm wondering if luck has significance for you guys, personally.
Well, I like to have luck, so it's but I'm honestly to say I'm not very how do you say superstitious. I'm not very superstitious, but sometimes I am.
How about you, Vera?
No, I'm kind of superstitious because my father had a fixation about something, like he didn't like purple as color. He didn't want me to give him the salt. One time I broke a glass, he was desperate. Oh my God, this brings bad luck. So he had all this fixation that now belongs to me.
Do you wear purple?
No, never.
Wow. You know, purple represents royalty.
Yes, but I'm
Not
traumatized by my father that didn't want us to wear purple.
But coming back to Sergio Leone, your father was the lucky charm of the father.
Yes, Sergio Leone never worked with my father, but he was a big friend of my father, and he was convinced that my father used to bring good luck. So he bring him in the States to sign the contract for Once Upon a Time in America, because my father used to bring good luck. So Giuliano, you come with me.
So then I have to ask, why did they never work together?
No, but you know, this was great because they were real friends, you know. Sometimes you don't need to work together to be friends, you know. It was a real poor relationship between two people that was real friend, you know. And they didn't have the opportunity to work together, but they was real friend, which is maybe even more important.
Maybe this was not the appropriate answer.
Enough to get there. But I was wondering about the fact you were going for with the 8mm in the beginning, because it was weird. It almost made it, when you switched back, me feel like I was watching digital. Like it was like, because it shifts from the home video to the 6mm, and it was like, oh, this is fake. But then everything in the previous one was perfect, and now it was all shaky. And so I was wondering what in putting the home videos and the transition, what effect you were going for.
I don't know if I really understood completely correct the question, but we love to show in our movies things that are vanishing. And for us, it's also this kind of home movie. It's something that is vanishing, and we're very sad about this because we are a generation that grew up with 8mm, and that were wonderful memories of our childhood. And yes, so this is all real. We made this, we found these movies, we made a projection of these movies, we filmed these movies, so there is nothing digital or anything.
No, I know.
Yeah.
What I was saying is that it's there in 8mm, and the film's in 16mm, so it jumps. That increase in the film grain kind of is like, whoa. And I was wondering if that was an effect you were trying to get from that shift.
Not really. This is something that happens, and
Yeah.
so that we cannot avoid, or this is something that is a surprise. It happens as it happens. But we also, coming back to vanishing media, is like, or art forms, is the silent movie. Childrens of today, they don't know anymore who is Stan Laurel, Oliver Hardy, or Buster Keaton. So we are very sad about that because they were genius filmmakers. And so this is something that we always try to bring very subtle, but we want to bring it in our movies, or to show it in our movies.
Mr. Stan is going to ask a question.
I just want to say that I've never seen a movie like this before. What a spectacular, wonderful film. And how special that you've flown all the way here to New York to be here for it, which makes it even more magnificent. We're members of MoMA. I looked it up online. I see Rotten Tomatoes has your movie at 100%. I told my husband and my friend, I know nothing about this film. I said, well, let's take a chance and go see this. And I'm just completely floored. I want to know, is it going to be Vera the series or Vera 2, 3, 4, the box set? You are magnificent. I'm talking a lot, but I'm actually inside speechless. I've never seen anything like this. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you very much.
I have to tell the truth. I paid this guy to set this, and I want to say the truth one time forever. So I tell the truth. Now give me back my money. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I just want to congratulate you because it's a very beautiful movie. And maybe I just talk a word that only us we can understand. Because we speak a different language. I'm from Trastevere. So, bellissimo. Sei proprio stata bravissima, guarda. Parlavo pure col ragazzo che mi piace parlare romanesco. Ok?
Okay, I translated. You are wonderful. You are a very good actress. Then you can go on.
Hi. Yeah, I was just wondering. I know you talked about how some of the scenes in the movie brought up like past memories that might have been traumatic, or just. I was wondering if coming out at the other end, at the like watching yourself back on screen, what has the impact of this film had on your life, like afterwards, like in the aftermath of it? Like, how do you feel like you've been changed at all by the process of making it?
For me, it's not easy to watch myself in this movie. First of all, because I'm fat, and then because I'm real. So it's like to watch myself naked in my soul, which is worse than being naked in your body, you know? So I don't like myself a lot because I feel that I'm not strong enough for this world, you know? And it's like to watch the reality in the face, and it's a reality that sometimes is hard to accept. But I think that thanks to this movie, I learned to love myself a little bit.
Thank you. It was a terrific movie. I had some questions about, it was so wonderful watching you, Vera, in the movie, being loyal to your chauffeur and loyal to your friend, Miss Argento, and to the boy, and doing so much positive things for these people and showing the goodness. And then I was a little confused in scenes like at the end, the insurance, the policeman saying, if this was all done, like what was this showing the duality, the good and the human nature of the good and the bad, or the weakness and the strength? I mean, that was a little distracting or different from your performance and all the good you were doing, and I didn't understand this scene with the insurance fraud or the ransacked room, your apartment.
Well, we don't believe that it's good and bad only. So this is black and white in real life doesn't exist. So people can be good, but they can also be bad. And this is something that we wanted to show. That's the tattoo of Daniel obviously is showing only the good and the bad, but Daniel in reality is also not only bad, because he's doing this for his son. So I don't want to judge a person that is doing everything for his son and maybe doing something that is very, very bad.
So did Daniel rob Vera's apartment?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't like a lot that anytime all around the world, when the movie finished, public told me, "Oh my God, you are a wonderful human being. You are so good. Oh my God." And I was like, I can be a son of a bitch, you know. I don't want to be so good. I feel like a victim, you know. Everybody tell me that I'm so good. I think that everybody have a different part, that we can be good, we can be bad. And what is wonderful in this movie is that it's a movie that doesn't judge. Everybody do something for a reason, you know. When Daniel at the end of the movie said the good going to win, he always believed it in that moment. But then he has to do what he has to do because he wants a better life for his son, you know. So this world of show business that seems to be so bad, and then she's looking for something more good in this San Basilio, which is a place in Rome very dangerous, where there are drug dealers, you know. And even in this world, she became an instrument, you know. It becomes that maybe the good and the bad is so relative in this world. We are all good and bad.
We have time for maybe one or two more questions.
Yeah, I just had a question. The scenes with your sister were wonderful. And you're very...
My sister couldn't wait to do this scene. It's completely improvised. She was like, yes, I'm gonna talk about your exigence. The boyfriend in Paris, all the money that you spent. She was so good as actress. At the beginning she said, no, I don't want to do it. Then Tizza told her, talk about your sister, what do you think, her mistakes. She started this monologue like Anna Magnani. She wouldn't stop for like half an hour, and she couldn't wait to say all this to the world.
That was my question. You know, because you built trust, but then to get her to be involved in it, and it really worked beautifully.
Yes, because this is a real too. My sister is the rational part of my life. I'm like the crazy artist. Even now that I'm working all around the world with this movie and I finally have a satisfaction, my sister is calling me, yes, but I have a real life, listen, I'm busy. I was like, I have a real life too, I'm working. It's always like if I'm joking.
It's great.
You beat it.
Yes,
One last question.
I have a real life. I don't have time to lose. I know I win Venice. I have a real life too. Yes, okay. This is good, but I'm busy. I have to go.
Was there an element of freedom to your last scene? Did your character feel free by the theft, by the divestment of all of her, or not all, but some of her property?
I think that the last scene of the movie is very beautiful. First of all, because every movie has a hand, you know, like the handing of the movie. And they doesn't believe in a real hand of the movie because life goes on. And she simply go out from the apartment and she walk. It means that she won't give up. She will go on. And life is not always perfect, but we always have to be strong and go on. And that's me, that's Vera, and that's the end of the movie. And that's what I'm telling to you all. No matter what is your dream, never stop to believe and never give up, because I'm the proof that sometimes dreams can become true.
Yep.